Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel in partnership with sharpbetting.co.uk. I'm joined by Owen, and this is all about Callum Smith. This video, after his unanimous decision victory over Joshua Buatsi, and what was arguably the best fight of the night in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on Saturday, the 22nd of February. It was an absolute barnstormer of a fight. Massive kudos to Josh Buatsi and Callum Smith, but it was Mundo, the Liverpool man, who came out on top. And I suppose we're kind of discussing what's next. And one of those things, Owen, that people are talking about, one of the fights that could be next for Callum Smith is another all British affair against a certain Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde, of course, has his trilogy with Lyndon Arthur on the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn bill at Tottenham in April. Should he come through that, he's a favourite to do so. I think a lot of people are favouring him to beat Arthur. Should he do that, do you think that we will? Well, one, do you think we'll see Smith against Yarde? And two, suppose after you kind of talked about that, if it all plays out this way, who would you be backing right there?
I think we definitely see the fight. Buatsi Yard's been spoken about for a while, and I back Buatsi to beat Callum Smith. But I think Callum Smith has proved the doubters wrong, and he's still got a lot to give. I thought his shot selection was excellent. I thought Buatsi, there was a couple of times where I thought he was out on his feet. And again, credit to Buatsi, he showed an iron chin, and he just wouldn't go away, sort of thing. But the more talent shots, the better shots. Better shot selection, just smarter all round. Callum Smith was on the night, and I think Buatsi Yard's been spoken about for a long while, so it's only right to give Callum Smith the shot. Don't want to be too critical of Yard, Lyndon Arthur, but that's not a fight I want to see again personally. It doesn't do a lot for me. I think Yard comes through that pretty comfortably. If he doesn't, the likes of Buatsi, Callum Smith, etc., all these names we're talking about are a mile away in a sense. So yeah, I think we see the fight. I think Callum Smith wins. I was gonna back Buatsi to beat Anthony Yarde. I'll back Callum Smith to beat Anthony Yarde. I think the style Callum Smith showed against Buatsi will be a nightmare for Anthony Yarde. It's a massive British clash. Callum Smith deserves it. Probably didn't myself and probably a lot of the viewing public probably didn't expect Smith to be back in this position, but here we are. So yeah, bring it on. Smith Yarde once Yarde gets through um, Lyndon Arthur in April. So towards the end of the year, let's get it on, and I'll be back in Callum Smith.
Yeah, mate. I think you made a few great points there. I think it's, a lot of people, us included, have been talking about Buatsi Yard. So Buatsi losing, and maybe falling slightly down the pecking order again. Is it Callum Smith who kind of steps in his
Mm.
place? But that's not diminishing Callum Smith. I think it's all stepping in almost as if he was the underdog. Like, I think Callum Smith has proved now after that Buatsi win, particularly if he was to fight Yard and beat him as well, that he's the best of the crop at light heavyweights in Britain. I think it's funny that you say that, mate. I think had Buatsi and Yard gone ahead, I was always on the Joshua Buatsi side as well. Um, and I suppose it's not boxing Maz doesn't work out this way sometimes, but stylistically, I think Callum Smith is a nightmare for Anthony Yard as well. Um, I could actually see a world in which Callum Smith stopped Anthony Yard.
Great.
Um, I think that, yeah, I think it's one of them. You see what you did say about. I don't care about. I don't really care for the trilogy either with Lyndon Arthur, but it does have that slight intrigue for me because of
Mm.
the length of time that it's been since the second one. Like
Mhm.
he won the rematch conclusively. Yard, I'm like, right, we don't need it. Usually you would say one apiece, right? You have to have a trilogy to see who wins it. In that case, I think we didn't need to see. I think it was clear who was better. But there has been a long period of now out of the ring since his Beterbiev defeat. Then you've obviously had the kind of the whole falling out of Frank Warren, back in with him, kind of fight the odd person on Boxer, but like small meaningless fights really. Um, so I think people are still maybe the people are still wondering what version of Anthony Yarde we have left. I think we'll find out a lot in this trilogy. So although it's not a massive one, I think it's decent for an undercard, and you can kind of sell it. I do expect Anthony Yarde to come through. I can see a world in which the Callum Smith fight comes through, happens next. And yeah, as I said, mate, I I would actually go as far as saying I'd be very, very confident that Colin Smith would beat Anthony Yard. Um, I'd be interested to see. So let us know in the comments if you're a Yard backer, because I would hazard a guess that Smith would be a quite handy favourite with the bookies, and a lot of people would probably back Smith to beat Yard, even if Yard was
Hmm.
to look good against Lyndon Arthur. So yeah, I agree, mate. It's a fight. I mean, I still want to see Buatsi Yard, to be honest. I wouldn't be against seeing Buatsi Yard and Smith fighting. Geez, I was going to say David Benavides or something like that. That has a tough night, but like a Morel, someone like
Hmm.
that. If he doesn't want to, he might think that he's a bit above Anthony Yard, but obviously it's a big fight in sales. You get paid well for it. But if there was the opportunity to fight a Benavides or a Morel or one of those other light heavyweights just below your Beterbiev and Bivol, then would he go that direction? I wouldn't be averse to that, because I do want to see selfishly Buatsi Yard as well. I think we'll get that eventually, too. But yeah, I think it makes sense, mate. I could see Smith Yard happening. It's a good fight. It would be a decent build up, all British clash, and yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think long-winded answer way of saying that, yeah, I think Callum Smith probably beats Anthony Yard for my money as well. But that's all we've got time for, unfortunately, Ewan. We could sit and discuss this light heavyweight division and landscape in Britain all day. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comments your thoughts on Smith Yard. If it was to be made and go down, who would you be backing? As always, please do check out the rest of the channel. And if you're not doing so, come and join the party. Hit that subscribe button. All of your boxing needs under one roof. Owen, thanks very much for your time, mate. Absolute pleasure as always. Speak to you again soon.